Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney Scarlett, and for the last couple of weeks I've had this gorgeous Sportster S on loan from Harley Davidson UK. So some people probably know that I had the old Sportster Iron 883 for about 7 years, so I'm really excited to take the Sportster S out for a ride and compare. So come along with me, we're going to take it out for a spin.
So let's start by talking about probably the most notable thing on this bike, which is that new engine, the Revolution Max 1250T. So it's the same engine that's in the Pan America and the Nightster, but in comparison to the Pan America, I think they've just lowered the peak torque. It's a super smooth engine, nothing like the old Harley V-twins. It's not going to feel anything like a Harley if you're used to old Harley Davidsons, let me just say that loud and clear. It does have the potential to sound really awesome. These had some custom pipes fitted. Personally, I probably would have gone for S&S or Vance & Hines, but I've just gone for a little bit of a beefier sound. So it sounded definitely better than the stock model. I'd say this bike rides more like other modern cruisers, less like a Harley. Like I said, that engine is super smooth. It's got good brakes. I think it's got single Brembos on there, which are good enough, certainly better than the brakes on my old Harley. In terms of the tech and the features, it's a huge step up for Harley Davidson Sportsters. I mean, never before have I seen a riding mode on a Sportster, let alone the kind of TFT connectable dash with Bluetooth. You can do voice commands through it. I mean, I think it's even got cruise control as standard. I mean, for me, you can tell that I started off riding on Harleys because I never really tend to go too far into any of the tech stuff. Even for me, the Harley Davidson app to connect your phone was all a bit of a faff, and I didn't really end up bothering with it. But if you're into that kind of thing, this new Sportster S has a huge step up in the tech. So like I said, it's got 3 riding modes: rain, road and sport, and I think you can put it in a custom mode as well. I mostly stuck it in sport and just kept with it at that, which is my usual go-to. But, you know, you do you. Test out the modes if you do give it a test ride. The bike itself, it is super kind of low and small. It's really, really light. I think it weighs 228 kg, so just absolutely nothing. Felt like definitely the best kind of size Harley I've ever ridden in terms of for a smaller rider or a newer rider, or if you're just maybe not so strong and you want something that's not too heavy but still is a Harley Davidson. This is the bike for you. It's so small, so light. It's got forward feet controls, but they're not much of a reach. I think a lot of people on these change them to mids, which might, for some people, maybe shorter riders, be even better. But I was alright with the forwards, which, you know, forward controls aren't normally my favourite, but I was fine with the forwards on this bike. Where the exhaust is, it does obviously get quite hot. I mean, I'm used to that with all Harleys, but this one in particular, it was noticeable. You feel super low to the ground on this bike, so it feels really kind of centered and planted and steady. I would say it's a fairly comfortable ride position for me. My back and shoulders are a bit rounded, maybe it's a little bit of a further reach on the arms. Your back probably isn't going to thank you if you spend a whole day on this bike, but long mileage isn't particularly what this bike is made for, so I would say it's comfortable enough for the kind of riding that you're going to want to do on it. My real disappointment probably with this bike was in its handling. I think it's probably got a lot to do with those tyres, and I think to some extent just the roads in England, or maybe in my area in particular, they're not good roads. They're really, really bumpy, so it really did highlight that the suspension is quite stiff, and the sort of huge back tyre, it definitely makes the steering feel a bit kind of heavy and laboured. And I would just say, in terms of kind of thrashing it around, it's got all this engine power, but doesn't quite have the handling to match with the power that engine has. I think that engine in a different bike would be incredible. On this bike, I couldn't help, at least around near me, like I said, I felt like the engine was a little bit wasted, because ultimately you just couldn't kind throw it around. The engine is torquey and fast and smooth, and it is a real joy to ride. And when you manage to really open that bike up, you realise that the engine is actually fantastic. So as much as at first I wasn't sure about it, in the end I kind of walked away feeling like it was the best part of the bike. So price again of this bike, it's just over 15,000. So not exactly an entry-level price Sportster anymore, but in terms of what you get, the rider aids and the added performance, the extra tech, I would say that when you look at the competitors on the market, it's not overpriced at 15 grand. It's just maybe more than what people associate with spending on a Sportster. To look at, I absolutely love it. I think it just looks like this gorgeous mini muscle cruiser. It's really low and long, it's small and light, it's just a sexy little bike, really something to show off. It gets absolutely loads of attention. So yeah, super attention bike, great bike to take to bike nights or for shorter rides. And like I said, it's just stunning. It's sleek, it's cool, it still looks quite aggressive, and it's just different from Harley. There's no chrome in sight. It's definitely kind of one of the more sportier bikes I think they've ever come out, if not the sportiest that they've ever come out with. And yeah, to look at, love it. Now, the big question is, what is better? Well, in my opinion, they are two completely different bikes. To the point where there's probably not much point in even comparing them. To be honest, I think Harley Davidson probably should have just given the Sportster S a new name, kind of rebranded the whole thing. But that's just my opinion. If you're new to Harleys, I think you just got to ride both and see what you love and see what you prefer, because if you're kind of going for that sound and a particular look of Harley Davidson's, I don't think that this new Sportster S ticks that same box. But do I think this is a great bike? Yes, absolutely. So definitely worth giving it a test ride if you like the look of it and just seeing if it's for you. Thank you so much to Harley Davidson UK for loaning me the Sportster S. I absolutely loved my time with this bike.
Thank you so much for watching my review of the Sportster S. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed riding it. I've absolutely loved taking this bike out for the past couple of weeks. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Sportster S. Do you prefer the new Harleys, the old Harleys? And if there's a Harley Davidson you would love to see me take out for a ride and review, let me know in the comments as well.